take chances that I've never taken before.
Completely exposed. But that's what the purpose was. To be exposed and to...
Honey, let's not sugarcoat it. House Party wasn't just a movie, it was a moment. It was the party blueprint for an entire generation. It didn't just make you laugh, it made you feel alive. It introduced us to a cast that practically danced into our hearts. But behind the glitter, there was some seriously messy stuff going down.
I didn't want the comedians that I've been working with all my entire career to think that I was just jumping in and doing something out of nowhere without, integrity.
You see all that fun and chaos on screen? Yeah, it came with a side of exploitation and scandal in real life. AJ Johnson, the one who played Shireen, spilled the tea that she only got $4,000 0 cents for her role. Can you even believe that? $4 0 cents K for being one of the movie's core characters. While the film went on to become a cultural icon, she walked away with chump change.
I made $4,000.
Hold up. It didn't stop there. Fights were literally breaking out on the set of House Party 2. We're talking real beef, real fists, real heat. So while the movie made us feel like we were all at a big family jam, the real set was a war zone at times. Wild, right?
Well, one time on the set, Cameron and Martin got into a fist.
And guess what? Tisha Campbell is finally unleashing all the dirt. And y'all, nobody saw this coming. Not a single soul. Back in the day, there was no Instagram, no X, Twitter, no podcast spilling receipts. So all the drama, it got swept under the rug. But not anymore. Tisha is flipping the rug over, honey. Let's rewind. Tisha wasn't just a sidekick, she was Sydney, the brains and beauty who gave the boys a run for their money. Her vibe was undeniable. Her chemistry with Kid, fire. That dance battle with AJ, legendary. She wasn't just acting, she was owning that screen.
Man, this is too much. Look, but don't touch. I'm just trying to avoid the bum rush.
But behind the glam, the wigs and the shoulder pads, there was tension, underpayment, and outright disrespect. And now the lid's been blown clean off. AJ Johnson only got $4,000, 0 cents, no bonuses, no residuals, no love, just a flat check for a role that made her a 90s icon. Sit with that. Breathe this in. A movie that grossed millions but couldn't cough up more than $4, 0 cents K for one of its stars. The audacity. AJ wasn't just standing around in the background, she delivered. She was electric. The chemistry, the dancing, the sass, all her. And she got paid less than what some influencers make from a TikTok brand deal today. That's criminal.
Paycheck was like $4,000 a week. I don't have an EIN number. I'm getting taxes taken out. Then I have to pay a manager. I have to pay an agent 5%, 10%. When it was all said and done, I went home with about $4.
And you know what that means. If AJ got that lowball deal, there's no way Tisha was rolling in cash either. Nah. What we're seeing here isn't just a fluke. It's a pattern, a systemic pay gap, especially for Black women. They were undervalued, underpaid, and yet the heart of the film...
True that you only made $4,000 from House Party?
Yes. For the whole month or two we filmed as a hired actress, and it was Favored Nation. We all made...
Tisha hasn't said her exact number yet, but the way she's speaking with that "I'm done protecting y'all" energy, oh, it's clear she got burned too. These women weren't background noise, they were the party. Their performance gave House Party its soul, but they got crumbs.
All new for me. Yeah. I've never done it before. And we're having an amazing time on the road.
Yeah.
But it's the scariest thing I've ever done.
So let's talk about it. House Party made millions. And the people who made it magic, they were barely paid livable wages. What's worse, they made more money from a Burger King commercial than from the movie itself. That's not just shady, it's straight up robbery. Burger King licensed that scene where Play bribes Shireen with a BK meal for an ad. And guess what? That paycheck was more than the $4, 0 cents K from the entire movie. You cannot make this up.
Listen, we made more money on that commercial day than we made.
This wasn't a rumor. It was real. House Party was filmed on a tight $2,500,000 0 cents budget, and director Reginald Hudlin made a bold choice, casting an all-Black cast and a crew that was 65% Black. It was about authenticity, community, and realness. But even with all that love and care, the paychecks, garbage.
Senior thesis I went to Harvard as an undergrad in their film program, and it was very documentary oriented. And our year, we all said, we're not doing.
Now, here's where it gets even more heartbreaking. Just days after the film premiered, Robin Harris, who played Kid's no-nonsense dad, suddenly passed away from a heart attack. It was his last role. His death added this raw, bittersweet layer to the film's legacy, and fans felt it. But as the franchise kept going, the good vibes started slipping away. Tisha hinted that the deeper they got into the sequels, the more toxic things became. People got egos, money became a thing, and the set lost its innocence. And then, the fight, the legendary on-set altercation between Martin Lawrence and white rapper Cameron during the filming of House Party 2. You read that right. Punches were thrown, no security, no cut. Just straight up fist flying in the middle of production. Kid confirmed it. The set became a battleground.
One time on the set, Cameron and Martin got into a fist fight.
Really?
Yeah, they got into a fist fight.
Cameron from Young Black Teenagers and Martin Lawrence got into a fist fight.
Yeah.
Now, if that happened today, TikTok would have exploded. TMZ would have had 20 camera angles. But back then, no phones, no leaked footage, just hushed voices and NDAs. And let's be real, if Tisha saying the vibe was tense, believe her, it was not chill. It was chaos wrapped in contracts.
Then the whole black film scene hadn't exploded yet. It was everyone making little movies.
And honey, the drama between Martin and Cameron was just the tip of the iceberg. According to Tisha, there was way more going on. Power plays, disrespect, cliques, and constant tension. This wasn't just a movie set, it was a pressure cooker. A lot of these young black actors were hustling in an industry that didn't protect them.
They didn't like each other. Cameron was very, he was very New York-y, he was hard. And Martin was hard.
While we were dancing along with Kid and Play and swooning over Sydney, the cast was walking on eggshells, the women especially. Tisha said it loud. The women were overlooked, underpaid, and constantly made to feel disposable. And without them, the movie would have been a hollow party with no soul, period. But behind the scenes, it was a full-on boys club, and if you weren't one of the guys, good luck. Tisha said the disrespect was rampant. The guys got the glory, the girls got the crumbs, and the silent treatment if they dared speak up. And in the 90s, being labeled difficult could end your whole career. Tisha's finally speaking out because she can. She's built a legacy. She's no longer scared, and she's not just talking for herself. She's calling out the system that's hurt generations of women in Hollywood. She's saying enough is enough. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, Tisha and Martin's feud. Oh yeah, we're going there. Back in '97, Tisha sued Martin for harassment, and not just vague accusations. We're talking about alleged groping, verbal abuse, and trying to force himself on her, all while filming scenes together. It was horrifying. Martin couldn't even be on set when she was filming the final episodes of their show. That's how serious it was. Can you imagine filming a love scene while your real-life co-star was banned from the room? Martin tried to deny it all, claimed he was just caught in some beef between Tisha and HBO, but let's not forget, he was also spiraling at the time. In '96, Martin got arrested for wandering around LA with a gun, yelling, "They're trying to kill me." He also allegedly broke into his ex's hotel room waving a gun around. It was a lot. Tisha eventually settled the lawsuit and filmed the final episodes. But again, they weren't in the same room. The producers had to digitally stitch scenes together just to fake that on-screen romance. Wild. Hutland approached Russell Simmons, who was managing Will at the time, and Russell shut it down, said they were doing big deals in Hollywood now. Translation, we're too good for this low-budget stuff. But fate had other plans. Kid and Play stepped in and made the roles iconic. Honestly, it was destiny. The magic wouldn't have hit the same with anyone else. But even with the right cast, the journey was brutal. Hutland had to beg studios to greenlight a movie about black teens. One executive literally told him, "No one wants to see black movies or teen movies. You have both." Can you believe that level of disrespect? Nobody wanted to touch the project until New Line Cinema, the last stop on the train, finally said yes. And even then, they were a tiny studio known for Nightmare on Elm Street, not for risky cultural comedy dramas, but they took the chance and baby, it paid off. But even as the movie blew up, it wasn't all applause and roses. Some critics hated House Party's blend of humor and darker moments. They were uncomfortable with how the film mixed party vibes with serious issues like racism, police harassment, and even allusions to sexual violence. Reviewer John Tybo tore the film apart, calling it a mishmash of gang violence and police brutality parading as a teen comedy. To that we say, you missed the point. The movie reflected real life. It wasn't sanitized for comfort. It was raw, funny, powerful, and real. That's what made it timeless. But let's not ignore how every actor on that set was carrying a weight we didn't see, because while we were watching a masterpiece, they were surviving. They were dealing with paychecks that wouldn't even cover rent, with cast members fighting, with egos clashing, with trauma being relived on set, and with women like Tisha and AJ Johnson being pushed to the side, disrespected, and expected to smile through it all. Tisha's honesty now, it's revolutionary, because for years, women in Hollywood were told to just deal with it, to not speak up, to protect the brand, to keep the peace, even if it meant staying silent about abuse, underpayment, and mistreatment. But now she's done staying silent, and honestly, we need more of this. Because Tisha's not just sharing her story, she's breaking chains for the next generation. She's forcing people to go back and ask, what was the real cost of all that fame? Who profited and who paid the price? And honey, the receipts keep rolling in. Think about it. If Burger King can cut a check bigger than a Hollywood studio, we need to ask, who's really the villain here? Because while everyone was dancing to the soundtrack and quoting lines from Kid and Play, the actors were getting pennies. Pennies. And it wasn't just AJ and Tisha. That whole cast, black, young, full of promise, was treated like they were disposable. And when the sequels came along, things didn't get better. They got uglier. Bigger budgets, bigger egos, and even less love for the women who made it all sparkle. Let's go back to that fight between Martin Lawrence and Cameron. Imagine being on set, surrounded by cameras, and boom, an actual fight breaks out, and not a choreographed one. Real punches, real rage. That wasn't just unprofessional, it was dangerous. And the fact that it was kept so quiet for so long tells you everything about how the studio tried to protect its golden boys while letting everything else fall apart behind the scenes. Tisha never got into the play-by-play, but her words, her tone, you could feel the pain, the frustration, the exhaustion of carrying all that for years. And even when she had every right to burn it all down, she chose grace. She chose truth. Her story isn't just about House Party. It's about how the industry fails black women over and over again, pays them less, credits them less, and expects them to stay quiet while the world profits off their brilliance. And was wild, Tisha was so central to House Party. She wasn't just the girl next door, she was the vibe. Her dance scene, iconic. Her chemistry with Kid, still unmatched. And yet, behind the scenes, she was walking on eggshells just to keep her job. She had to smile through inappropriate comments, through unfair contracts, through tension and backhanded disrespect. And every time she tried to speak up, she risked being labeled difficult. And we all know what that label means for black women in Hollywood. It means no callbacks. It means being quietly pushed out. It means being blacklisted for telling the truth. But now, Tisha's got nothing to lose and everything to say. She's coming with the truth and she's not holding back. And y'all, her bravery is blazing a path. Because now we're all talking. We're asking the questions we didn't know to ask before. We're looking at those old posters, those DVD covers, and we're wondering who got paid, who got hurt, and who's still healing. House Party may have been the film that launched careers and shaped a generation, but behind that laughter was pain. Behind those iconic lines were real people being disrespected and dismissed. And Tisha, she's standing tall now. She's reclaiming her voice, and she's making sure the world hears the real story, not the polished press tour version, but the behind-the-scenes truth that was buried for too long. And if you thought this was just gossip, think again. This is history. This is justice. This is truth finally being heard. That's it for today's tea, but you already know next time we're diving in even deeper. So don't go anywhere, stay loud and stay ready, because if Tisha's still talking, baby, we're still listening.